Good morning. We're in Exodus 11. Exodus 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go. Hence, when he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Okay? Let's try that again. He shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Very detailed. Very detailed. Verse 2. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every woman borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor. Now let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. Verse 3. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt. Verse 5. And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. Okay. Now coming up, y'all, right here, we're talking about this. To me, this is an image of, okay, they put the blood on the doorpost and stuff. This is an image of God's coming to judge the world. If you don't have the Christ and his blood on you, it's going to be ugly. This is what that is to me, potentially. We're going through the Red Sea. That's the blood also. But the blood on the doorpost is an image of the blood of Christ to me. He's our Passover lamb. He's our deflection point. He's our bulletproof vest. He's everything that's going to keep us safe when the God comes through. Okay, that's what that is to me. Okay. So God's warning them, hey, this is what you need to do. All right, let's go. Five, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill. And all the firstborn of beasts. And verse 6, there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore. Verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Verse 8. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. I'm going to read verse 8 over here because that's kind of... Okay, 11:8. It says, the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel, and all these your servants shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people who follow you. And after that I will go out. Okay. He's basically saying that after the firstborn is killed, that everybody's going to be so blown away and so crushed, they're going to say, Get the hell out. And he went out from Pharaoh. He went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. And there you have it, the great revelation that God is in charge of Pharaoh again. God is controlling the entire situation so that he can make himself most noticeable. With the signs and stuff. So because Pharaoh keeps saying no, he keeps demonstrating. That sooner or later, you're not going to be able to tell this away. It's going to be so much proof. They're going to write a Bible about it. And they did. And this is where everything started. So, why is Egypt? Why are the pyramids empty? Where did they go? Obviously, they got crushed. I would venture to say there were some other gods, some demigods or something like that, and God wasn't having it. God is the Most High God. That's my guess. Some higher beings. They're probably fallen angels or something like that. All them guys. I don't even want to say their names. All those Egyptian guys, they're probably, they're probably fallen angels, stuff like that. But guess what? Where are they at now? God handled that. Okay. That's probably what they were. All those guys. I don't want to say their names because I don't know. I might conjure them up or something like that. I don't want to say their names or talk bad about gods or nothing like that. But there's the Most High God, okay? Where are they at today? Where are they hiding it today? They're not out in the open. All right. So we did 11. We're going to bust right into 12 like we do early. So we're in Exodus 12 now. I mean, we've done so many, I can't even remember what book we're in. Golly. All right. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, I'm trying to get woke up good here. I'm really not kind of tired. I got kind of burnt out making my shorts last night. Every now and then you have to do that because just to get something, some type of something new that the algorithm is going to send out there, I guess, because these long ones, people, that's not really going to get out there. I had to send some short stuff out there every now and then so that we can keep the flow going of new people coming. Keep the flow, and if a couple drops off, guess that we need to pick up some more. So I make a couple shorts every now and then without getting carried away. Try to find a few spots that seem like a good thing to put out. What happens is I get in there and then I want to put the whole thing out there in shorts. But there's only certain spots I want to put out, Okay. Exodus 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Okay. So what he's saying is, okay, y'all are coming out. I mean, y'all are about to come out of Egypt. I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds a lot like this is going to be a new culture for you starting now. We're going to start y'all's calendar right now when y'all leave Egypt. That's what it sounds like. So, speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Okay. So what they're saying, this is kind of cool. What he's saying is, okay, y'all don't just butcher up a lamb if y'all can't eat it. Okay, now that's kind of, that makes sense. If you got two households or whatever, y'all join up so that y'all can eat this lamb and not waste a bunch of food. Yeah, 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 yeah. See, God is a smart God. He's not just no. You'll see. Common sense, practicality. God has everything down pat. Okay. Make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, Christ. A male of the first year, Christ. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up, Christ, until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it, Christ, in the evening. And they shall take of the blood, Christ, and strike it on the two side posts, Christ, and on the upper door posts of the houses, Christ, wherein they shall eat it, Christ. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, Christ, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs, Christ, in the tomb. They shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, verse 9, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire. His head with his legs, and with the putenance thereof. And by the way, you don't break the bones. I'm pretty sure, and that was part of the thing that Christ, they're supposed to break his bones on the cross to make sure that they're not dead. They did not break a single bone of Christ. Just throwing that out there. If I'm not mistaken, you don't break the bone of the lamb. Okay? There's many parallels. That's why I kept saying Christ. Every time I said Christ, it did not say that, y'all. And this is just one of the many layers that we're about to peel back off this onion to show you what the Christ signifies, at least in part. It signifies a lot. Life itself, you could never fathom everything that Christ means. Okay? It's life itself. It's God himself. It's everything you're supposed to be. It's everything that you want to avoid. It's anything. It's anything and everything. And ye shall let nothing remain of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. In other words, don't waste it. Yeah. This is not your average thing. Get all of it and use it wisely. This is a tradition slash Christ. What is Christ? I'm not even going to go there right now. It's big. Pertinence. Pertinence. Okay. Let's go up here on verse 9 because it says in verse 9, and with the pertinence thereof. Pertinence. Let's go to 12:9 up here. 12:9 says, so, okay, 12:9 says, do not eat any of it raw or boiled in water, but roasted, its head with its legs and its inner parts. Okay, so it's a barbecue. It's a barbecue. God's been tailgating since day one. I've been telling you, this is UGA, this is Alabama, this is pumped action. God has been tailgating since day one. Okay, all of you hardcore fans, Georgia, Alabama, y'all don't have anything on God. Trust me. He's been tailgating since day one. Don't roast it. He said just fire roast it. You got herbs on there. Just he's having a great meal. So not only is God doing all these miraculous signs in Egypt, he's sparing them. He's smiting them. He's making so many distinctions that you see it's him. He's hardening Pharaoh's heart so that he can keep performing all these signs. Okay. All right. And on top of that, he's establishing a tradition to memorialize it. He's memorializing the Exodus and everything that happened in Egypt. And there's your foundation for your religion. And there it is. What more could you ask for? How much proof do you need? You got a memorialized tradition. It becomes the Christ later, because he's obviously the fruition of this stuff. This is the embodiment. This is the Christ is the manifestation of all this. And we're going on. You have tons of supplements. You're literally sitting at a Thanksgiving feast of information and proof and historical stuff and traditions and cultures. And you got your Bible right here. You have an abundance of stuff to feed off of, to have your religion and your ideology supplemented with tons of stuff for your faith to be solid. Okay. If that's not enough for you, maybe you're just not meant to go. Because, I don't know what to tell you. There you have it's in your face. The Passover is still being held today. It's still happening today. The Passover feast is a real Jewish tradition by the same culture that's held of the same people that left Egypt. Yes, hello. I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this today. So instead of listening to every YouTube video you hear that doesn't ever mention what I'm saying right now and how obvious this is, why don't you share this video? Period. Here on Preach Facts, I feel like we've taken an aggressive, necessary approach by doing videos every day. We don't have to be in the box, outside of the box. This is to me, it's an aggressive approach by doing a video every day. Okay, that's what we're doing here, because I don't really hear the stuff that I'm saying really said like I'm saying it. And it's not me, it's God doing this. Okay, so and God willing, this will go on. And I can not fall short on my end on whatever temptations come my way and tests, because I'll be tested. But you can hear a lot of stuff. But when you actually look at these things in the perspective that I'm showing you, while taking into consideration the other lines of thinking, and take a step back and say, hold on, listen to Walter's case. What is he saying here? I'm telling you to take what I'm telling you at its face value, without all the BS coming in on the side. It's not going to give you this type of case laid out like it's supposed to be laid out, because that's the Bible message. You can take your shots about this and that and that, here and there. Oh, it's not real. Oh, you can take your shots at different angles. When you really take a step back and look at the whole of what's going on here, I would like for you to tell me how plausible that is. That this isn't true. And what I'm saying isn't true. Because I'm doing nothing more than what Christ did, and what New Testament writers did, and what the Catholic Church did, and what Christians did, and founders of the Christian faith, the church fathers and everything. I'm doing nothing more than what they did. They put the pieces together, and now I'm just relaying it back to you in the year 2025 of our Lord Jesus Christ. I'm relaying it back to you. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the world, but you got to see the white swan in the midst of all these ducks. You got to see the white swan. It's there. There's a white swan in a pond with a bunch of other stuff. And that is the truth. I only say that because there's some type of philosophy about a black swan or something like that. It's just more brainwashed, I think. When you look at this entirety of this stuff that I'm giving you, what this actually means with a coherent, comprehensive when you take a fully comprehensive analysis of these stuff, of all of the principles, okay, of the principles that I'm telling you, I'm about to try to give you a nutshell right here. Well, not really. I'm not in the mood today. But what the Bible is saying of how they saw the Christ as being the Christ, how they saw him as the Passover lamb. The Jews are a real people. They exist today. They have the Passover feast. The Christian religion says that the old covenant was done away with or fulfilled and hatched into the New Testament, New Covenant. Why they made those connections, why they made those deductions, why they analyzed it and created the Christian religion, why they made those connections, when you really look at that and what we're going over now. And I only say this to the people and to myself, that where are you getting that this isn't, where are you getting that that's not enough there? Where are you getting that? Where are you getting that it's not sound? Where are you getting that it's not enough? Where are you getting that? Because when I see this, I see transcending principles. It's obviously bigger than man. Not to mention all of the signs that were happening back here. Okay. And when I look at, as the skeptic that I am, when I look at this stuff, I can't just readily cast this all out the window. For one, my gut's telling me it's true. Number two, I know there's forces in the world that don't want me to have it being true, like the devil. And number four, I'm using my best judgment to say that this is true. How else could this be? And then the other side of the story, the opposing side is going to say, well, it's not true. Well, which part of it isn't true? You can't tell me the Jews aren't a people. You can't tell me they don't have the Passover feast. These are just facts. So which part of it isn't true? We know we had the Egyptians. We know we have the Israelites. We know we have the Passover feast. We know we have the succession of popes. Okay, we know that. So which part of it isn't true? Oh, well, it's this. Is that? No. You can't cast. You can try to take your shots here and there, but you can't tear down the fact that we have a succession of popes leading back to Peter. You can't tear down the fact that we have Jerusalem. You can't tear down the fact that we have a Passover feast being held to this day. You can't tear down these facts. These are just facts. So I'm not going to stay on this all day, but these are facts. The Jews are real people. Okay? Islam is a real religion. They came back to Abraham too. He's a father. He's their father. Islam is a real religion with a real geographical places leading back to Abraham, which is a father a patriarch in Christianity too. He's our father of faith. He's our faith father. Because Abraham believed God and it was counted to him as righteousness. That's the father of our faith. So you can't tell me this stuff isn't true because we have it today. So where along the line are you saying that this isn't enough? Now I have to ask myself that. I can't say it's not enough. Okay, we got sacred writings. Jesus was a real dude. He's recognized in other religions. He's recognized in Islam. He's a real dude. Okay? So, as the skeptic that I am, and God expects us to question stuff and have our doubts, a healthy amount of doubt is good, I guess. But at the end of the day, you have to say, hold on. I mean, what am I really going off of to say this isn't true? What am I really going off of? Oh, I've heard videos one time that said that this stuff was invented in Fluvian times or something, and they concocted the story. Well, what part did you concoct? Did you concoct the Jewish culture too? Did you concoct all that? I'm sure they have their stories and stuff. I'm just calling that a flagrant fraud. You think the devil and his followers and stuff like that don't sit back and concoct stuff cleverly to throw you off and to say it in a way that's going to make it seem blunt and frank? Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not enough for me to go on. One video dropped, a couple videos dropped by organizations here and there, these phantom organizations that, they just drop videos and and that's it. No, I'm sorry. It's not enough for me. So, so I'm gonna allow, for the sake of argument, that it is. I don't personally believe that, but it is, for the sake of argument, it is quite a reach to say that somehow, and I say this because it's a healthy amount of skepticism, that somehow, I just don't see it, that somehow some fake tradition was implemented into the Jewish culture, and somehow they were all told to believe that this happened in Exodus with all these plagues and signs, that somehow somebody threw in this somewhere. That's the only plausible thing that you could say. I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry. How else can you have a Passover tradition? How else can you have that? How else? That's the only plausible thing you can say, that somewhere along the line, somebody made up this story about the plagues. It implemented a tradition of the Passover feast. That's the only potentially plausible thing you can say. And that somehow they made an image that looked like the Christ and all this. That's the only plausible thing you can say. That's quite a production. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. What else can you say? There's nothing else you can say. How did the Jewish people have their Passover feast? How did the Christians get their ideology? How did the church fathers decide that this was a new covenant? How did all these people make their deductions and all that based upon some type of fabrication? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And you want to tell me all that is for just for somebody just said, "Oh, we're just going to do this. We're just bored. We're just going to do this." Do you know there's been more bloodshed over this stuff? So it's not for world peace and world control. That's not what it could have been for. No. That's not what it could have been for. Okay, but it's not true. That stuff, and I say that moving forward, just to give you the worst case scenario of where your ideology can go. Okay. So I'm just saying this stuff so that you'll see how weak your case is if you say that the Bible isn't true. The Jews have a Passover feast to this day. The Catholics have a succession of popes coming back to Peter. And they're listed. It's been going down ever since. Pope by pope by pope by pope, all the way down to Peter, who was with the Christ. And all the many prophecies, not to mention all the miracles that Jesus did and all that stuff. Okay, so, and the post Christ miracles that happen. So I say that as a healthy amount of skepticism, and I'm pretty much done with that for now. Because I can promise you, I would not be sitting here making videos every day. Maybe my faith isn't as strong as I think it is. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Okay. I don't feel like I made much progress with that, but I think we've taken a healthy amount of skepticism approach to this. We've laid out the facts that we have in the world. The Jews have a Passover feast until this day. Okay? They have a real religion where they follow the law about foods and everything else. This is not just something we're here reading. We're reading this because it's sacred text. Even they read this stuff. So it's just, I'm sorry, I have to lay out the both sides of the case. I have to lay out both sides. So if this isn't true, if God isn't real, if Christ isn't real, forgive me, Lord. Okay. Then somewhere along the line, everything they said about Jesus is fake. He never existed. Okay. The Jewish Passover and all this stuff they wrote was also completely concocted. I don't know where the Jewish people came from. I don't know where they got the Passover feast. That's now up in the air. The the popes that we have today in the Catholic religion, Islam too, they're also off. Abraham never existed. So I'm saying you're throwing a lot of stuff out the window to say this stuff isn't true. How can you throw all that out the window without giving me a sound case supporting that? All those things. You have to throw all of those things out the window. You have to throw all of those things out the window, not to mention the prophecies, the details. You have to throw a lot out the window to support that case. You have to throw the world out the window. Okay, Islam, you're gone. We don't believe that you exist. Your whole ideology is fake. Okay, it's a fraud. Okay. Catholics, you're a fraud. Uh, you don't have any type of foundation. It's also a complete fraud. Okay. All New Testament theology that we came from the Old Testament, and that's how we make our deductions. That's all a fraud because it came from a complete fraud. That's the only thing that you could possibly say, because you can't tell me that they were just mistaken. That completely doesn't make any sense. That completely doesn't make any sense. That really doesn't make any sense. The only thing you can say is that everything was a fraud. All three religions. Islam is a fraud. They go back to Abraham. That's a fraud. Catholicism, fraud. Jewish, fraud. You're throwing three world religions out the window in order to support your case. I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do here, what I'm going to do, is understand that that is not the truth. The devil wants you to think that's the truth. We're going to do that here and understand that that's true. I feel like I'm doing more damage than I am helping. Okay, we're done for the day. I feel like I'm doing more damage than I am helping. I'll go back and review it, but I have to have a healthy amount of skepticism. So I want you, if you take that approach, or know anyone that has, I would like to hear how you throw 3 religions out the window. I would like to hear how you make that make sense. Fulfilled prophecies. Because I've weighed both of these cases. And it's just not adding up for me. Not to mention all the personal affirmations that I have received and I'm continuing to receive, not to mention the Holy Spirit and stuff like that the devil is trying to tear out from under us. So there's many. We got to take a healthy amount of approach here and keep going. But to sit here and not address these possible skeptical ideologies would not make this a real channel. So they can take their shots here and there. Okay. Christ isn't the Christ. If any of it's true, all of it's true. The Jews are a real religion. Catholics are a real religion. Jerusalem's a real place. Jesus was a real dude. If any of it's true, all of it's true. The Jews have a Passover feast. You got church on every corner. You can't throw it all out the window. If any of it's true, all of it's true. If there's any type of foundation of any of these points I made, Jesus was a real dude. There was any type of miraculous corroboration, any type of fulfilled prophecy anywhere, then all of it's true. End of story. Case closed. Have a nice day. Yes, the Jews have a real Passover feast. Yes, they're a real religion. Yes, this is true. If any of it's true, all of it's true. You can't throw out everything. It doesn't work like that because you have to throw out everything. If God isn't real, if Jesus isn't true, then every type of thing that supports that is absolutely fake. You can't do that. I know I should have been a lawyer. Okay, that's okay. I am. I'm here to separate false from fiction. You can't throw out everything. You have to throw out everything. Y'all have a good day. We're on YouTube at Preach Facts. We're on TikTok at Preach Facts 7. I'm glad we finally came to a closing point. You have to throw out everything. because all the pieces connect like a puzzle. You have to throw out everything. You can't just keep what you want. No. You have to throw out everything for this not to be true. It doesn't work where parts of it are true. It doesn't work like that. No, it's all true. Have a good day.